Word of mouth pales in comparison to the actual experience. Engaging all available senses, enduring unexpected wins and hardships, and being present at the moment creates more nuance and uniqueness. It changes you, leaving all perceived expectation in the same tangent reality that now exists in the multiverse had you decided to not follow through with this new frontier of life. There is no core syllabus for your passion. There is no guide for how to follow the deep dive of your hobbies. It merely just happens. One thing leads to another. One new discovery provokes another whole stream of endless research because trying to satiate an all-encompassing romance could possibly leave you more lost than found.
What made you decide to buy a watch?
I've only owned like Fossil watches, and that was like in high school. I'm 33 now. I was like, I need to make a statement with what I wear, at least on my wrists, because I haven't had watches, but I've always wanted to get one. So I wanted to get one that was nice. So I asked the guy behind the camera to help me pick a watch.
Nice.
Personal preference is an unexplainable phenomenon. The definition in its purest form is, I like what I like. There are so many cumulative variables that go into someone's style. Looking at photos and creating mood boards can pinpoint you to the right direction of your aesthetic, but truly you'll never know how you really feel about something until you try it for yourself. Life would be so boring if we all followed in suit. Conformity is the creativity killer. However, cultural trends epitomizes the theory of natural selection. The world of watches and the world of fashion are not synonymous. Everyone needs clothes, not everyone needs a watch, despite what Apple tries to sell you one. A watch can be everything from a conscious choice of a particular function to a conscious reminder of a loved one that passed it down to you. To me, the world of watches align more with the world of automobiles. There are irrefutable classics and timelessness in both. They both share the holy matrimony of design and technology. The only noticeable difference is the ratio of newcomers in both industries favor the watchmaking side. The world of microbrands is amazing. In most cases, no pun intended, the value proposition is too good to pass up. What most big brands try to sell you as a premium, micros will give to you as a standard. Around this time last year, I started to become fascinated by the world of microbrands and independence. It was my desire to get reacclimated to a life of simplicity after having spent many years under the hypnosis of my do-it-all Apple Watch. I've transitioned my state of mind and continue to walk down a disconnected path. 1 year later, after putting down my Apple Watch for good, I feel an added sense of freedom, the only trade-off being more missed text messages, phone calls, and emails. Okay, case dimensions in millimeters are 42 wide, 14 high, lug to lug is 53.8. The lug width is an amazing 20 millimeters for all those strap options. The case is stainless steel all over with beveling along the sides with opposite vertical and horizontal brushing. One upscale added bonus is the use of ceramic for the bezel. The bezel features indented Arabic numerals which are painted white with a triangle indicator at the 12. The whole edge of the bezel is crosshatched, which is an amazing design choice, but I feel doesn't help with the overall grip for turning the bezel. The unidirectional bezel action on this watch is its best feature, in my opinion. It's loud, it's stiff, and has absolutely no play when turned the other direction. It feels very high quality and punches way above its weight. Here, take a listen. It's crunchy. The screw-down crown is signed and crosshatched around the edge for an easy grip. The no-frills 3 Hz Miota 8215 movement is protected by a solid steel screw-down caseback. I love the bathymetric map design the caseback sports. I think it adds interest to the overall watch and elevates what some might view as a simple dial design. The power reserve is 42 hours. My watch ran about plus 19 seconds at the end of the day. The dial will be perceived as simple to the uninitiated, but once the term Bauhaus enters into your lexicon, you'll understand that it's not really a design choice, but more a distinct function. There is symmetry, legibility, and minimalism. I never have any issues catching the time and date when glancing down at my wrist while wearing this. However, the lume baton hands and lume indices are left with more to be desired in the dark. Basically, the lume is not that great. The crystal is a domed sapphire with 2 layers of anti-reflective coating, which disappears completely when viewed at the right angle. The dial text is symmetrical in a sans serif font. Sternglas and Zeitmesser is at the 12 with Automatique, and the water resistance rating is at the 6. The dial matched date window replaces the 6 o'clock marker and is very legible. In summary, the whole front face of the watch is not beautiful by any means at all. It's handsome and very masculine, in my opinion. When I hold this watch in my hand, it feels very substantial. I feel like I could hammer down a nail with the case back and still put it on after to tell the time. The bracelet is a screwed-in, solid-length block design featuring a signed butterfly clasp with milled components, no taper. I think it's cool, but I'm not crazy about it. Instead of the quick release, I wish they drilled the lugs and gave this bracelet some end links. I dislike how the quick release tabs can be seen at certain angles through that space in between the bracelet and the case. Despite that, it still wears comfortable on my 6.5-inch wrist. The bracelet flexibility, or inflexibility rather, is a non-issue for me. Sternglas offers the Marus on a rubber strap if bracelets aren't your jam. My watch stays on a NATO strap, and it's a strap monster. I bought this watch, or forced my wife to buy this watch for me on my birthday, brand new, from the Sternglas website at retail. They offer a 10% discount for first-time buyers, so we spent $550 after it's all said and done. The unboxing experience was pretty straightforward for a watch at this price. Sternglas does include a small screwdriver for sizing down if needed, which I thought was a very nice touch. I've owned this watch now for a year, and I think it's lovely. It definitely meets my standard for an everyday tool watch. I think the more bumps and scratches it gets on its case suits its vibe more. I've dressed it up when traveling for weddings, and it still served its function under my sport coat. I do love its versatility and its understated presence. I do love that the watch is feature-rich, despite some misfires and flaws that only exist depending on where you land on the enthusiast spectrum. I do think the 8000 series Miyota, lack of end links, and lack of drilled lugs are missed opportunities. I think at the $500 to $600 price point, there are some other heavy hitters that can really be in the run for your money in the micro space. I think Unimatic, Baltic, and Traska offer up some deep competition in this range. I think you really need to understand and embrace Bauhaus design in order to really love this watch. If you're someone that is looking for an everyday, do-it-all watch for their partner, I think this watch should be high on the list for consideration. For the enthusiast, however, if you're someone looking to expand your collection with a unique Bauhaus diver tool watch, this could really be a good fit. Sternglas has a controversial, and depending on who you talk to, nefarious reputation amongst people in the community. Phrases like made in China, over-marketed, or fashion watches loosely get thrown around, putting this brand in a tight spot amongst enthusiasts. On the flip side of that, there are enthusiasts and community people that promote this watch brand as the answer to the budget max bill. If Bauhaus is a design style you heavily gravitate towards and have the means of getting into the heavier hitters that have heritage, I would say keep saving your money and go for that Junghans or Nomos, or both, if you got it like that. But not everyone operates on the same budgets, and for me, $600 is a lot of money. I love Bauhaus watches, but not to the level of dropping a few thousand on a Nomos. At that range, my taste definitely goes to many other brands and styles, but I still won't object to Bauhaus design. Even if it's not my favorite, I still would like to have one in my collection. And personally, for me, despite all the noise on the internet, I'm really happy with my Marus. I love where it stands and what purpose it serves in my collection. If you're on the fence about it, my answer is yes. Don't knock it till you try it. Check private sellers on eBay. You might be able to get a great deal on this watch used. I took a chance on this watch and don't regret a single day owning it. Despite my grievances, I still get that feeling every time I put it on because now I live in this tangent reality where I got to experience life with this piece. I don't know a life where this watch didn't exist in my collection. I find myself reaching for it more than my 5KX. This watch serves every use case in my life, whether it's for work or for going out. It always just kind of fits and does what it needs to do effortlessly.
Oh and 3.
0-3.
You're wrong.
0-3.
0-3.
0-3. 0-3.
0-3.